would like to begin by introducing Director of Athletics, Jeff Comfer.
Well, thank you all very much. It's great to see everybody here this morning. And we'll get right started. This is an exciting day for Pirate Athletics and all of Pirate Nation. I'm glad to be with you. Have a few remarks I'd like to make, and then I'll get right to the introduction. Football is the engine that drives and pulls our athletic train. This is the message I give to our team and coaches when we begin the fall practice each and every year. For most university athletic programs, that statement is true. But for ECU, that statement seems more like an understatement. Because at ECU, football truly matters. Football defines our history and sets the course for our future. Football sets the tone for all of the Pirate teams. Football defines that ECU chip on our shoulder that is exhibited not only by our players, but seemingly by everyone associated with this great university. Football can unite us. Football can divide us. Football stirs our emotions on game days and throughout the year. Football embodies the passion that describes ECU. 11 days ago, I set out to find the next leader of our football program, knowing full well that the passionate and caring eyes of Pirate Nation were watching. I did not enter into this crucial task alone. I had the help and support of many people. Several of those are here in this room today. Chancellor Ballard, who trusted me and helped me find the right fit for our university. Our Board of Trustees Chairman, Steve Jones, who's with us, who provided great counsel and support throughout the search process, and the rest of the Board of Trustees, many of whom are here today, that have reached out throughout the process. I also want to thank my outstanding executive team who worked tirelessly to help in the search process, but also prepare for the new coach and his transition. Todd Turner and the good folks at Collegiate Sports Associates who assisted us by making this a thorough, timely, and very professional search. The interview committee who took a full day out of a rather busy time of year to sit and interview our final candidates. The many other supporters and staff who I met with and they gave me their thoughts and they gave me their opinions and recommendations throughout this process. I want to also thank the university administrative team and especially the good folks at Human Resources and our university attorney, Donna Gooden-Payne. We rallied together and worked through the weekend to fast-track the details and to make today happen. I also want to thank my wife, Kathy, and my family who have shown great support and confidence in me throughout this search. And finally, I want to thank the current players, members of this team, and specifically the ones who took the time to meet with me 1 week ago. These 18 men sat in my conference room and emotionally shared their thoughts with me about the team and what it will take to move forward. I left that meeting knowing we had 18 leaders who care about each other and the team, and they were committed to finishing what they started. They want to win, and they want to win right away. The process to find the next coach was gratifying because we quickly learned that the interest in becoming the next head coach at ECU was extremely high. We heard from coaches at every level who wanted to lead the Pirates. The search narrowed over several days with face-to-face and phone interviews, those who were interested as well as qualified to be our next head coach. However, it would take someone very special to lead our program. Those qualities we were looking for in our next head coach were developed by me and the many people we met prior to the start of the interviews. Some of the most valuable feedback I received, however, came from those student athletes I met with in that meeting I described 1 week ago. They told me they wanted someone who would continue the family atmosphere and build on the positives that already exist. Someone who could run a similar type of offense and defensive schemes. Someone who was smart, organized, and experienced. Someone who would build leadership and enforce discipline with the team. Someone who will have an individual relationship with the players, but understand this is an emotional time. Someone who wants to be at ECU. Someone who is a great recruiter and will hire a great staff. And in the end, they said, go hire the right guy. I could not agree more with them. I added a few of my own and information I received from the other constituent groups that I met with. And at one point, a member of the interview team said, we're looking for Superman. I guess that's about right. We are. We are looking for Superman. But we are because football matters at ECU. As I look at our next head coach, I don't see a cape, and I don't see an S on his chest, but I do see a man who meets and exceeds the qualities we're looking for in our next head coach. When the decision was made, I offered one person the job, and he is the right fit for ECU, and we are fortunate that he accepted our offer. Scottie Montgomery represents the good in the game of football. He has played and coached at the highest levels and has risen quickly in the world of Division I football. He is a North Carolina native who excelled as an offensive player at Duke. He played in the NFL, has coached in the NFL, and was an offensive coordinator and the play caller, as well as the associate head coach at Duke. He's coached in conference championship games and the Super Bowl. He's had outstanding mentors, men he can turn to and call on for advice. Without stealing his thunder, he's a family man first. Kathy and I were fortunate enough to actually drive to his home and offer him the job. During that visit, we had the pleasure of meeting his wife, Ebony, and their 3 boys who are with us today. And rest assured, we're getting far more than a head ball coach. We're getting an extraordinary family. He is committed to education and the balance that is necessary to be a collegiate football student athlete. He is a family man because he comes from a great family. He understands what it is like to play at Dowdy Ficklin. As a member of a visiting team, he experienced that. And as I recall from your story, that didn't work out too well. He knows this great state of North Carolina because he is from here. And he's recruited throughout this state and built lasting relationships with the high school coaches who respect him. He is a man who is organized, has a plan, and is ready to lead our football program. He is an exciting leader who will take us to championships and celebrate with our student athletes and their families at commencement. He did a phenomenal job at our meeting today with the student athletes on our football team earlier this morning. I could not be more excited than to introduce the 21st head coach of our Pirate football program, Scottie Montgomery, better known as Coach Mo. Come on up, Coach. Here you go, man. Thank you, man. You want to come up, Steve? Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you. I don't know what hat you want to wear. You don't have to wear either, but they're both here.
Thank you so much. Wow. That's all. I'm going to start with saying wow, because this is the wow factor here. You know, Pirate Nation, you are the real deal. And I couldn't be more happy to be in Greenville, North Carolina this morning. And I'm going to start with some special thanks. First, I want to thank the entire university. Chancellor Ballard, I really, really appreciate the opportunity. The Board of Trustees for approving this thing and getting it rolling. Lastly, but definitely not least, Jeff, I appreciate the process. The process was real. The process was clearly communicated to me. I knew the people that I would be standing in front of. I knew who we had a chance to sit in front of and talk to, and they were some of the best people in the entire world. Right after that, I'm going to get to what's really, really important to me is my family. And you guys will see that as we move forward. I've been very blessed to walk into a house at Duke University and meet the most beautiful person I've ever seen, my wife, Ebony. And she is fantastic. You guys will get a chance to see her and meet her and be around her. She's fantastic. Not only did I outkick my coverage, she's an attorney, so I'd never win an argument at the house, which makes it tough. So I'm trying to convince my children, Cassius, Moses, and Magnus, that we can all team up and be on one side, and all of us can go against mommy, and we got a much better chance of succeeding. All right. All right. I love my family. They mean the entire world to me. I've been blessed. I really, really have been blessed. And the only thing that's keeping this moment right here from being perfect, and I mean perfect, is the fact that my mother and father are not here. And it's not by choice that they're not here. They have passed and went on, but I was raised by two of the greatest people in the history, in my opinion, in the state of North Carolina, because they understood education and they understood sacrifice. And right now, if I could say anything, I would just simply say thank you. Now that I'm a parent, now that I'm a husband, I know how important that is, and having that connected to my name. I wear this name proudly, Montgomery, because of the men that came before me with the name, and I'm going to try to uphold it to the utmost. Next, I'd like to thank the men who helped me and mentored me along the way. Ron Green was the first coach that I had in football. He was my high school coach. He showed me that you run a business a certain way. Everything had a place. Everything was organized. He painted the field, he cut the grass, and he even took us home at the end of the night if we didn't have a ride. He was big time. He was big time. I love him for that. Right after him, a guy that I would say that really means a lot to me is Ted Roof. He gave me my first opportunity in coaching. I'm really appreciative to him for that. But jumping right into my mentors, David Cutcliffe at Duke University I owe a lot to. Because as a young coach, he believed in me, and at the age of 27, 28 years old, he's like, you're going to be a head coach. I was more worried about him yelling at me in practice than being a head coach. But at that point in time, he started to mentor me and started to put me in a situation and give me a chance to be tutored by what I call the best coacher of coaches that I've possibly ever been around. Coach Tomlin has given me the ability, Mike Tomlin, to clearly communicate and articulate an idea to our players. I am going to do that. And I'm very appreciative that I've had a chance to be around him so that I'm comfortable and confident enough to tell these guys not what they want to hear, but what's going to help them be the best men and best players that they possibly can be. Last, I have to give Bruce Arians, the head football coach of the Arizona Cardinals, a lot of love. I got a call from him in a text this morning telling me how proud he was. I learned organization of a football club and offense from him. He used to take me to dinner, and he wouldn't let me take anything with me. He's like, you'll get there, and everything I say, you'll get it. And I tried to get most of it, but at the end of the night, I would find myself pulling out all the napkins from the table and writing it down so that I wouldn't miss a word of it. I'm very appreciative of those men, very appreciative. Now, enough of the hugging and kissing and all that. Let me get right down to business. First course of action is this. We want to win, and we want to win championships. But the first course of action is recruiting. And a lot of people are going to think I'm talking about recruiting the state of North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia. I ain't talking about that. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about we got to recruit the building. The most important thing to me over the next 2 to 3 weeks are the men that are already playing for us. We're going to recruit them like they've never been recruited over the next 2 to 3 weeks. I told them this morning that there's 2 languages that I understand. And I hope they hear me as I speak now, because I'm talking to them more than I'm talking to anybody else. The 2 languages that I understand is simple. It's character and it's production. Character and production, those are two languages I understand. From a character standpoint, you know what I mean. From a production standpoint, let me tell you what I mean. First level of production that I'm going to measure with these guys is their academic production. Because when they leave Greenville and they leave ECU, I want them not only to have a degree, but I want them to have an education. I want Pirate Nation to see the very best that we can produce as they hit the world. And I want to grow who we are throughout the entire United States of America as men that leave this program from an educational standpoint. Now, the last part of that, production. You want to make a coach happy? You want me to smile? You want me to talk to you a little more? You want me to show you some love? Produce on the field. Plain and simple. Come to work every day. Bring your hard hat. Don't complain. Don't look for excuses. Find solutions. And you'll be fine and we'll be fine. And anything I can do to help the players, I'm here for you. Just understand, everybody needs to understand one thing. When it comes to me, the players are absolutely first. That's who they are. They go out, they sweat, they bleed. It's the only sport in the world where one mistake could cost somebody very dearly from an injury standpoint. So just think about the stress and the pressure that goes into that every single day. And I'm very appreciative of the players. Pirate Nation. I know there's been some rough waters and some rocky waters, but guess what? It's starting to settle. It is starting to settle. And the ship, right now, we're docked. We ain't quite leaving yet, but we're docked. And I want to make sure that everybody understands one thing. We're going to start moving, and we're going to start rowing, and every man's going to row, and I'm going to be one of the ones rowing as well. We're going to work as hard as we possibly can that when we walk out on the field next fall, we're going to put the best product that we possibly can put on the field. Plain and simple. The best product that we can absolutely put on the field, we're going to be ready to do that when that comes. So Pirate Nation, I'm going to reach out to you. Another thing, Pirate Nation, just to kind of jump off course here a little bit, Jeff, you know I have a tendency of doing that, and I am right here where I want to be. Here's a challenge. My wife doesn't need to hear this. We eat pretty strict. We're pretty strict in the way we eat, but I'm going to jump off right now for a minute. I'm looking for the best barbecue that I possibly can find. Stay with me, not just best barbecue, but I want that barbecue to be great pulled pork. Cover your ears, Cassius. Great pulled pork, and then I want it dipped in hush puppy batter, dropped in the deep fryer, and then I want somebody to bring me the best barbecue sauce that I possibly can find so I can dip that, because the last 14 days my wife has had me eating vegan, and I am struggling. All right? So, and I don't know if it was to fit in this suit or what, but I am looking for that barbecue, and as quickly as you can get it to me, let me have it. So Pirate Nation, come on, please deliver. And my wife probably will be up and back and forth, so I got a little bit of time now where you can bring it to me and she'll never know. But Pirate Nation, I'm very happy to be here. I love everybody here because everybody's connected to one thing here. ECU has the best football culture in the state, possibly in the entire country. Talking about 1999 when I came down here, and Jeff brought it up, it was a low blow, but I'll take it. I'll take it. 1999, we came down here. The problem was coaches and everybody else that may be in the room, we did too much time looking at tape. We're watching tape. We're scheming. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. We schemed them. We did this. We did that. What we didn't know is what we couldn't see on tape. Your culture met our culture right out here in the parking lot, and we got intimidated. And I told them it was close all the way till they blew the whistle. Once the whistle blew, the fans went crazy, and then I had a chance to look down the field, and as I'm looking now, I'm going to be looking right into the boneyard. And all the participants and all the students that are going to be in the boneyard, I want that thing to be just, I want bones to be falling out of it. I want people scared to look down there. Play down there. We used to play down in Oakland, and they had an area called the black hole. And our players wouldn't even look in it. I don't even want them to look in the boneyard. So I'm extremely excited about that. And as we move from the first quarter and the second quarter and the third quarter of the season or the game, we get down into the third quarter of one of those games and we transition. And we're up by 21, or we up by 1, or we're down by 8, or we're up by 3, or we're up by 40. We move from the third to fourth quarter. Any team that's thinking we're going to stop, there will be no quarter. There will be no quarter. We are going to work as hard as we can for 4 quarters to put the best product that we can on the field. And I can't wait. I can't wait for fall football to roll around. But the process is this. We're going to live in the moment, and we understand the now. And the now is we're going to work like heck to put together the staff. We're going to be talking to a lot of people. We'll talk to a lot of people in Greenville. We'll talk to a lot of people outside of Greenville, and we'll try to bring the most productive staff. But I can guarantee you one thing about this staff, they will be men of tremendous character. With that said, I guess we can open it up for questions, and we'll go from there.
Hi, Coach. First of all, congratulations. Welcome to Greenville, North Carolina. I'm Billy Weaver with WITN TV here in Greenville. As a first-year head coach, the challenges are abundant, but obviously hiring a new staff is probably your biggest challenge and probably your biggest task. Have you started that yet? Do you have an idea of who you will bring in as your staff?
Absolutely. You know, we've started the process, but you still don't know who you're going to absolutely finish with. And out of, just protection of the people that we potentially may have and may keep and may be brought in, we're not going to talk about it. You talk about the challenges of transitioning. I would agree that's a hard challenge. I tell you what the biggest challenge is, managing your time. I found that out as soon as Pirate Nation came alive on yesterday, because I had friends that go to East Carolina University that I'd never heard. They got my numbers. But I'm trying to do a good job of returning all the calls and do this and managing time. But time management is the biggest point. But yes, we have started the process. The process will start immediately as well.
Coach Brian Bailey, WNCT, Channel 9 here in Greenville. Welcome. Can you take us through the timeline a little bit? When this job first opened up, did you think you could be a candidate? And take us through the whole week, the energy, because I know there are ups and downs in a search and that kind of thing, but take us through that. Okay,
yeah, when the job came open, I was recruiting. I didn't even know it came open. And as a recruiter, when you're on the road, it's just you're locked into what you're doing. And that's what we do. We recruit. I can't believe, I think I was somewhere in North Carolina recruiting, maybe the western part of the state, or I was, getting ready to go out when I found out the job was available. I didn't know. I had no clue, didn't really think about it, was really singularly focused on the task at hand, which was trying to get, our team ready to go and get, move forward in the process. So no, I had no clue. I had no clue, didn't think about being a candidate. So as we move forward, things changed, of course, and was thrilled and excited to even be mentioned in some of the names that we're trying to get in front of certain people.
You personally, when do you feel comfortable to make the jump from, say, a coordinator position or even an NFL staff position to knowing that you're ready to do this and be a head coach?
Well, I really don't have the answer for that one, because that's what my edge is. My edge is probably always being the guy that was going to have to work a little harder, do more, and then put himself in the right position at the right time, and then exceed expectations when that opportunity came. I wasn't the type of guy that from day one, being recruited even out of the state of North Carolina, where I was going to be able to go to the 15 best schools in the state. So that chip on my shoulder continued to go. When I got around coaches, I wanted to make sure that everybody understood that I was there for one reason and one reason only, to get better every single day. There's no change right now. I don't think there's one head football coach in the National Football League to tell you that they're ready to be a head football coach, or in college football to tell you they're ready to, because it's a continual learning situation. And as we move forward, the thing that I like about it is just being hands-on, man, and just being right down there in the middle and learning and continue to learn. But the biggest thing I've had from a standpoint of being ready is the base that you have around you from a knowledge standpoint. When you can reach in your phone or you can call someone and get a situation fixed before it starts, then that gives you the ability to be a little bit more prepared versus ready.
Hi, Coach. Troy Dreyfus, Pirate Radio, 1250, 930. Congratulations on your appointment. Quick question. Will you be hitting the ground running today full-time for East Carolina? Or are you participating with Duke still as a coach with them in the bowl game? And if so, why not just start at ECU?
All right. I am taking Pirate Nation, the entire Pirate Nation, with me to New York City, and we're going to try to get as much publicity in New York City as we possibly can. I am going to call plays for Duke, but just understand I will be the head football coach at ECU. And from a standpoint of not just starting now, well, I'm just not going to sleep over the next 2 to 3 weeks. I'm going to get it done. My mother used to work a 6-to-2 job, come in for 2 hours, feed us, and then go back to the Family Dollar and work from about 6 o'clock to 10 o'clock. So we're going to work overtime over the next 2 to 3 weeks, and that's what we have to do. I think it's going to be beneficial not only to our football team from a publicity standpoint, but I think it also shows you and should talk about the loyalty that I have to the guys that I just coached. And I think I really owe it to them to finish what we started. And our goal always, and one of our creeds that I talk to my children about even every day, is to always leave a place better than you found it. So we're going to finish that the right way. Also, we're going to use that publicity of New York City and the Pinstripe Bowl. And at the same time, we're going to work our tail off right here in Greenville to make sure that everything goes the way that it should go.
Brett Friedlander, Wilmington Star News. Scottie, going back to the timeline, at what point in the process did you start to think, I got a shot at this, and then, when did that turn into, I'm going to get this?
Wow, it's such a blur now, right? I mean, it's such a blur. We had a lot of stuff going on. My family and I had a lot of stuff going on, with everything in college football that was going on at the time. There was, multiple situations going on at once. I would say the first real time that I knew that I really wanted to be a part of East Carolina was I got to hear the passion from Jeff of what was going on in Pirate Nation. That was appealing to me. And the reason why that was appealing to me is that I knew that same passion could be molded and formed into the most powerful and dominant culture and force in the state of North Carolina. And it was going to propel us past some of the people that thought that they are in front of us at this point in time. You guys know what I'm talking about. But that passion is what makes us unique. After I spoke with him that night, or that evening, I really thought that this was the place for me. It was more about the place making sure that I was correct for them. At that point in time, we were singularly focused on coming to Greenville. My wife, at that time of night, we spoke, and we were locked in on coming to Greenville because we knew how important it was.
What night was that? Do you remember?
Thursday. I was on a plane the next day. I was at 10 o'clock at night. I was on a plane somewhere else, and I had a 5 a.m. meeting in New York City that next morning. So it was all a blur, really.
Coach, Stephen Igo with Hoist the Colors and 24/7 Sports. You're obviously an offensive guy. Do you see yourself calling the plays here, or are you going to bring in a coordinator?
I'm going to be a head football coach. I'm not going to call plays. Probably going to have a lot of influence because we can't help ourselves as coaches, But I'm not going to call plays. I am going to bring in a coordinator, one that I know, one that I trust, and one that I'm going to let him do his job. I've been very fortunate. The people that train me as a play caller and that I've watched and is very beneficial for play callers to be play callers, head football coaches to be CEOs of the football program, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to let coaches do their job. So as we move forward, we'll see an announcement on a coordinator.
Yeah, Scottie, Sammy Batten with the Fayetteville Observer. When this opportunity came up, did you talk to David about it? What was his advice or encouragement to you about this job?
Yes, there's pretty much nothing that we don't talk about. I spoke with him. He actually spoke with me. He called me and talked to me about the situation, and he was happy about the situations. Other people that called him about different situations, and he was not happy about those situations. So he made it very clear that this place was a special place. He also made it very clear that in no way in form did he want me to be the guy that's going out looking for jobs and searching for jobs, because he wanted me to be a part of our program and move forward with that. But I spoke with him. I really value his opinion. He's been through a lot of situations, but he's also coached me to be a coach for almost 9, 10 years now. So when you get that kind of relationship with a person, and he's, he was really honest with me when I left him the first time to go to Pittsburgh. Other NFL teams before tried to get me to leave and come, and he was like, nope, you're not going there. Nope, you're not going there. And then when the Steelers came along, he was like, well, maybe you need to go listen to those guys. So I trust his opinion, but he thought this was a fantastic opportunity, so we moved from there.
Coach Patrick Quinn, WNCT here in Greenville. Obviously, we see some players here, and we know that you've met with the team. But how's the response been from the players? Obviously, following a players coach like Ruffin McNeil, and kind of how's that response been?
Tell you what, that's a great question. The most anticipation that I probably had, outside of my children being born and playing in the Super Bowl was this morning. And it had nothing to do with this part of it. I can do this all day. This is probably one of the more comfortable settings that I have. I had a lot of anticipation about meeting the players. And I'm going to tell you why. Because I've been through exactly what happened to them. In 1999, as a senior, going into my last year at Duke, I lost my coach. So I have a ridiculous amount of empathy for them. But this morning, the meeting was forthright, it was to the point, and it was consistent. And I think they respect that. And I also got to see some of them that I hadn't seen in a while. You got to understand it. I've seen some of these guys in recruiting. Now, coach has done an unbelievable job in the weight room with them because they don't look like they used to look. Right? They got full beards, the shoulders are wider. I felt like a small guy all of a sudden. They were slightly out of adolescence probably when I saw them last, and now they look like men. I'm glad we never had to play them. So I'm for them. A player's coach has, very many different meanings, right? But at the end of the day, I am 100% for our players. I'm going to learn a lot from them about Greenville. I'm going to learn a lot from them about the way they play football and what means a lot to them. More than anything, I want to know who they love and who loves them. And I'm going to get that done. It won't happen from a standpoint of 100, me to 100. It's going to be me to one individual. So we're going to spend a lot of time together individually. I'm going to have to get that time worked out. And then when the staff gets here and they're in place, there'll be strict guidelines on the staff on meeting times with the players that have nothing to do with football, non-football, life lesson meetings, so they can also find out who these young men are because we want them to be the absolute best that they can be and let them understand that winning is an all-the-time thing.
Hey, Coach, how are you?
Doing well.
Good. It's Brian Haynes from Raleigh News and Observer. I have a two-part question. One, have you decided on schemes on offense and defense yet? And two, when you hire coordinators, do you hire more to the scheme or the person?
Well, first thing, I'd like to say about, scheme, we'll talk there. Personnel from a scheme standpoint is what we try to concentrate on more than anything. We know our personnel here, so you could see a couple of different schemes, but we'll have some spread opportunities, multiple opportunities that'll look very similar to some of the things that you've seen, but with some different fundamental differences of what you've seen. Defensively, we'll try to marry our personnel once again, and our personnel says one thing. If you look at our roster, you can look at our roster build. I'm not going to give anybody in recruiting any ammo from what we're going to recruit by any means, but we're going to be from schematical standpoint really closely connected to the people that we have here. We're going to put them in positions to be successful as they possibly can be because it's just like when you bring in people in, what's more important, 99 people learning something or one person learning something. So we're going to try to make sure that the players get exactly what they need and make sure that they can be as successful as they possibly can be without a lot of things hurting them or changing them in what we're doing.
Hi, Coach. Billy Weaver again with WITN. East Carolina University loves offense. The Pirate Nation loves offense. and quarterback plays. They've been able to develop quarterbacks here at ECU time and time again. You being an offensive guy, David Cutcliffe being an offensive guru with quarterbacks, will you lean on him with this stable of quarterbacks that are coming back next year?
You know, I'm going to lean on the training that he's given me to this point. And, you know, there is a system and there is a way that we train them and we've treated them. You know, every offseason we have Peyton and Eli come back and he trains and I train Peyton and Eli. And we also bring in the best receivers in the entire country with Antonio Brown and Emmanuel Sanders and you name them, Demaryius Thomas. Coach will kill me, all right? But we do need to sneak that around there. We'll work on that a little bit later this evening, all right? But so as it comes to training the quarterback position, you know, what you have to understand is that you have to train a quarterback from two ways, all right? The neck up and the neck down. And I think we've found the perfect mold for no matter what quarterback we have that came through our system, we've really been consistent in producing at that position. And I know what they've been able to do here. And we're just going to try to take the quarterback's best talents, put them to the forefront. We had a guy, you know, when I first got there, Thaddeus Lewis, we threw for 10,000 yards with us. Now he plays in the National Football League. The next one we had was Sean Renfrey. He wasn't a fast guy at all, completely changed our offense. He's in the National Football League. The next one we came in, we had, I think it was Anthony Boone, won the most games in Duke history. Then we had a guy, now Thomas Sirk, our quarterback, played 1 year of quarterback in high school, came to Duke as a tight end, basically working as a tight end. This year he's going to have 3,000 total yards offense by himself with the help of his teammates, of course. So we're going to be flexible enough and nimble enough to be able to make sure that we fit in what we need to fit in. And I look forward to some big-time offense. I look forward to seeing some of these skill guys, too, because I've been able to watch them on tape. And the skill position, that's going to be something to watch. I can't wait.
Coach Adam Thompson from the New Orleans Sun-Journal. Coming in here, how much did you know about the team from last year and the tradition and all the stuff that comes with being part of the East Carolina program?
Could you say that? Could you speak up just a little bit?
Yeah. Coming in, what did you know about the team from last year and about the tradition and about the what's expected here with this program?
Well, what I know about the team this year, I told these guys, they're already good. They don't need me to be good. They got a good football club. I also know that they can throw the football. I also know that we can run the football. We can stop the run. We got great players. There are a couple of people that we're going to miss. Of course, we're going to miss Zeke. All right, we're going to miss Montez. I know these guys. I know them well. I know some of the guys from a recruiting standpoint. But what I also do know, I know that they're passionate. I know that they're willing, and I know that they want to win, and they have the will to do so. So from a standpoint of the team, what's coming back, I know. What I'm learning, though, by the Sackett is the tradition that this place has. I mean, I'm reading a different article or somebody's coaching me or somebody's coaching me on something new all the time. And I'm thinking, how in the world have we been playing football other places so long and we're not doing some of this stuff? So there's things that I'm learning about the program and the things, the tradition here, and I really love it. It's exciting for me to continue to go forward with it, okay?
Hi, how you doing, Coach?
Doing well.
Junior Smith, Kinston Free Press. You were speaking on Antonio Brown earlier. You were the wide receiver coach out there at Pittsburgh from 2010 to 2012, and Brown made the Pro Bowl in 2011. What kind of influence will you have on the ECU wide receivers, and also will you translate some of the hairstyles of Brown to this program?
I wish he was here. Okay, the hairstyle you're talking about with him, I don't know if you guys have ever seen the movie New Jack City. I didn't know where it came from. But these guys these days with the social media deal and all that, he got his hair cut like Nino Brown. So that's where it came from. Antonio Brown, Nino Brown, I get it, I guess. This is about all you're going to get from me. And if the players are watching, this is a good look right here. We don't need Nino Brown, but guess what? I'm not going to be against you if you are Nino Brown looking with the haircut. So I'll tell you this. yeah, we're going to have a major influence on that position. There's no question on it. We have a great pedigree from the standpoint of developing a receiver position. We had Mike Wallace, who definitely was a Pro Bowler, Antonio Brown, who was a Pro Bowler, who we took in the 6th round, and nobody really liked him. It came back down to an evaluation on him. We had Emmanuel Sanders, who was unbelievable, and now is a Pro Bowler as well. The guy that I coached when I was about 30 years old and he was about 35 years old was Hines Ward. He was fantastic. He was fantastic in the development of those guys. So, yeah, we will bring a certain level of pedigree to the position. But guess what? I mean, you guys watch Hardy. You guys watched him play the game. I mean, I was so excited about watching him last year. He was a great player, and so we do have a certain level of pedigree. Jamison Crowder, we developed him to go to the Washington Redskins in the 4th round last year. So we're really excited about that position. But we will bring them, and those guys will be around because they can't do it a whole year without coming down just to tell me how great they are. Okay. Thank you guys. Thank you guys. Appreciate you.